And you are live. You are live and in the house.
Yes, please don't swear. A big hello to everybody. Welcome to the Jenny Monday Club. It's really great to see you. I hope I find you all well. And today's live stream comes in association with All Mouse Media. And you can check them out at the links in the description box down below. And also, I must point out a big thank you to George Botterini. Thank you ever so much for that very generous donation, kicking us off on the super chat. I do love a good magnum. So anyway, today's big news. Well, there's a few different things. I know a lot of people have been really trying to see if I get hold of, get to the bottom of the Hornby Duchess of Athens.
You do love to get to those bottoms.
Definitely. And I have had a response from Hornby.
And it wasn't Book of North, was it?
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, it wasn't Get Lost and Don't Darken Our Door. But what they've said is that there has been unprecedented demand for pretty much all of the centenary models, and we've seen this with things selling out just like that. And I know that a few retailers have had problems as well with things basically selling out faster than the computer systems can keep up with. So what I've been told from Hornby is that an unprecedented demand has meant that they've had to basically spread them out quite thinly. Now I don't know how many retailers there actually are in the UK, but I suspect that they may have taken the decision to make sure that everybody got some rather than any other means, but I'm just speculating on that. The response from Hornby simply said unprecedented demand, and as a result they just couldn't fulfill all of the orders that were coming in. And I think in many respects Hornby have underestimated just how big a demand there's been for all of these. If they'd made the Duchess of Athens a limited edition of 1,000 or 1,500 or even 2,
it's crashed.
What's crashed?
It's stopped. Now it's reconnected. Basically, we're having internet problems tonight, Jen. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, you're back. According to this.
So we're getting the spinning beach ball of doom at the moment, I'm afraid.
I think someone else is using the Intertron for nefarious purposes.
Yes, I think somebody is downloading the slightly more adult-orientated version of maybe Flesh Gordon.
The more adult version of Flesh Gordon, was that?
I meant to say Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
I accidentally, a bit of Freudian slippage there.
You know how I know about that film? Because my mum accidentally rented it. We were all thinking we'd like to see Flash Gordon, so she rented it and got the wrong one. That was an education. We didn't see much of it though.
I can imagine. Right. So we've got in the room, let's see, well, Ken Patterson as well. Must welcome Ken from the What's Neat This Week podcast. Always great to see you, Ken. Great to have you drop by.
Yeah,
and
you're a big fan of Ken's, aren't you?
I am actually, always catching up on the What's Neat This Week podcast, and not just the one that I guested on, but a big thank you to Ken for interviewing me on that. That was actually really great fun. And
guys, you should have seen the grin she had all day after she was interviewed. And she was so happy.
Now, last week as well, somebody did, whilst I remember, somebody suggested freezing a bottle of water and putting it in front of an ordinary desk fan. And actually, it does work quite well. It is warm up here, but not as warm as before. But anyway, to go back, big hello to Ken. It's great to see you in. And yeah, it's been... I feel honoured to have some of the really big names passing through. We've also got New Junction I've seen in the chat room. Big hello to you. And yeah, it's just, we're getting all the big names passing through. I feel so humbled that people want to call through. Sparky 107, I know he can't hang around. He is at work at the moment, but great to see him in. I did frequent his live stream last night. And it was actually pretty relaxing to ride the helices. Is it helices? Helices what?
I'm sorry, I've got to jump in. Model Railway Noob says he's currently building a small home cockpit for flight simulations because it's the new Microsoft Flight Simulator tomorrow. Yeah, excellent. Send some photos. I want to see that. Sorry that I jumped in on you there, but I had to jump in.
I was hoping you'd keep talking for a bit.
It's just one of those things. You've got to have that. So, one of your people is dropping in because he's at work. Well, that's funny, because you're at work at the moment, aren't you?
Technically so. Big hello to 57305 Northern Princess. Andy 1962, Robert Ward. Finley Gardens just had a Magnum as well. They are really nice. They're slightly soft, so I've got to eat it quite
I prefer to feast on a feast.
Scottish Trains product. Hi to you as well. So, basically the cupboard monkey went, do you want an ice cream? And it's like, yeah. And then she went, should we go live? What?
Yeah, we did have one person complain last week that he was brought up with old-fashioned values, and he was always taught that you shouldn't talk while eating, and therefore he couldn't watch. But he missed out the other old-fashioned value of if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So the fact is that sometimes we eat and talk, and everyone eats and watches. So that's the modern world.
Anyway, if Cupboard Monkey, if you want to keep an eye on questions, any that I missed, do bring up.
Oh, I will.
Midland Transport fan Ben Tullett, who says, I still haven't received my Captain Tom 66. They are still getting posted out. I know I reported on this last week. Essentially, I think it's the DPD, the parcels people, didn't quite realise how many there were to pick up. So they rocked up in a very small transit van, filled it with what they could. So they're being posted out. You've also got to remember at the same time there's a few other centenary things going out, not least the Duchess of Athens.
Oh my goodness. The Stafford Model Railway event in 2021 has been cancelled. That's from Simon Trains.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I know that a few events in 2021 have run into an issue that if the venue that they use is currently in use as a Nightingale hospital, that may continue and they may be having difficulty in booking the venues.
Yeah, we live in unprecedented times. It's just one of those things. We've all got to make these changes.
Big hello to Southern Train Girl. Patrick Ling says, you keep stopping. Unfortunately, yeah, we keep getting the spinning beach ball of death. There seems to be a connection issue at the moment. All the lights on the streaming are over in the green. I should also point out, you've probably already noticed, but we've got a new camera angle. Or at least we've moved one of the cameras. So the view that you're seeing on the screen hopefully gives you a much better view of at least 3 of the trains going round. So what you'll see at the moment is the London Brighton South Coast Railway Brighton H1 Atlantic hoving through into view with an eclectic rake of private owner wagons. Actually, most of those are special commissions. I do have a soft spot for them. And bringing up the rear is the London South Western Railway Warner Road van. And then we've got, it's actually Ollerton Hall is the locomotive, but painted up as Hogwarts Castle from the Warner Brothers film franchise, and that's with a couple of Hogwarts Express coaches, which are actually just Mark 1s.
They've done very well with that. It looks good.
And then I've added onto that 3 chocolate and cream Mark 1s.
Everyone's saying that this new view is much nicer. I have to agree, because before it was a case of, well, we're showing this, but we can only show you on this one line because you won't be able to see it properly otherwise. And now you can show 3 off. So there is a nice little improvement there, and I think just adding that little bit of what is it? It's a bit of Meccano, isn't it?
It is actually. The bracket's made of Meccano. I have just dripped vanilla ice cream into my ballast. That is not a good look. But
it'll be fine. But you have to admit that we are such a top-notch, no expenses spared operation here. We've got this camera. We've got this camera held up on a line of Meccano with a well, it's basically a cable tie to hold it in place. So no expense spent here.
Don't underestimate the power of a cable tie. Cable ties are great. Cable ties are your friend, or as our American friends, I believe, call them zip ties, and great for around the house, model railways, but also never leave home in your car without a bundle of zip ties in the boot, because they are invaluable. My first car's front bumper and air diffuser underneath was held on by cable ties. But we've also got B. Mozza, So have we not had net on the landline since 1 p.m. watching on the phone net?
Yeah, there's a lot of trouble at the moment. I don't know what's going on.
I think as well the adverse weather has affected some of the underground cabling, not least because we've had some torrential downpours, thunderstorms with quite literally like somebody's just hose piping the ground. And the trouble with that is a lot of the cabling for the telephone network, the fibre optics, are underground, and if water gets into those cable runs and the manholes, it just fills it up. So there can be some issues with water contamination. Big hello to Aiden's Railway, Scottish Train Spotter, Donegal Dan, Sam M. Don't forget to tickle that like button. Also share the stream on social media. Let everybody know that we are live and dangerous. Right. Anyway, some of the other news. Rails of Sheffield and Heljan. We've been seeing over the last week. I'm really impressed by this. This is the Northeastern Railway Petrol electric rail car. And this looks to be... I keep saying, oh yeah, this such and such a model looks to be the model of 2020. We are being spoiled rotten. Because
Actually, this year has been amazing for the amount of high quality stuff that's been coming out. We may all be stuck at home, but at least we've got nice things to look at.
Yes, I think the big issue for a lot of people has been the money more than anything else. Big hello to Combat Bunny, Tim Condrup, Coddismore as well.
Yes, Tim says not with that.
Never when. Coddismore says the problem with limited runs is they are limited. It's not Hornby's fault if certain sellers oversell their allocation. Clues in the name, limited. Yeah, absolutely right. I know that there's been a few issues.
Whoa.
What? Ooh. I'll get to that in a moment.
Thank you very much, Robert Ward.
Thank you very much, Robert Ward, for the very, very kind donation on the super chat of £5. That is really, really great and generous. But yeah, I think Hornby's mistake in some respects is being too conservative on the amounts that the limited edition runs are. And I know it's easy to say that with hindsight because nobody wants to be left with a big warehouse full of unsold stock. But it does feel to me like with the Duchess of Athens that they could have probably at least doubled that production run and still easily sold them.
And that's the thing about when people are saying that limited edition means limited edition. Yes, it does, but at the same time, 1,000 is still limited.
Yeah, I mean, you could say I can remember buying vinyl LPs that were limited to globally to 10,000, and that was apparently limited.
But at the same time, we have in the past criticised people for saying, well, we've got 2,000 things here, it's limited to that amount. But yeah, that's not really limited, is it? That's a normal run.
It is like a proper super limited edition. That's down to what you would expect from, I know Bachmann tend to do their limited editions as being around 500. And, it's what we've kind of come to expect. But I think with the Duchess of Athens, there was so much anticipation of what is the first brand new Hornby 00 item in, must be around 60 years. In a way, it's a shame that they've so massively underestimated the demand. But of course, from their point of view, they've sold out the production run. That's great for them.
Yeah, they're perfectly happy. I like what Putnam Junctions just said here. Hang on, where's it gone? We got one here. Well, at least now you'll give you something to do with a new video. How to clean ice cream out of your ballast.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, I think, water. A lot of water will wash that out. Big hello to Les Cliff, aka Not Lobia Model World.
Hey Les, how you doing?
And Coddismore says, Hornby Magazine launches a new exhibition in 2021 in Manchester. Yeah, very much.
Nice.
It was something that I talked about a little bit on my Facebook page about that. I know New Junction is lurking around, and he did actually say, he said, wait until we announce it, but there's going to be a second exhibition. And of course, subject to COVID, as you rightly say. And I think that's great, certainly from my point of view, because the Great Electric Train Show is normally at Milton Keynes, so it's quite nice to actually have one on my doorstep. So George Potterini says, I love the steamers. I'm trying desperately to get back up to date with this, but you guys don't give me a chance. Not complaining. Big hello to Dragon Junction Mark II. John Holding says, loving the new view, Jenny and Zoe. We should cycle through some of the other views at some point, but let's have a look. Simon Trains MRS, the county showgrounds not being used in Nottingham Hospital Stafford. The board decided to stop planning for the event due to the current situation for the model rail exhibition.
Have you moved this camera as well?
A little bit. I moved it round a little bit. I thought we'd try for a slightly different view to capitalise on getting the train that runs on that track, because it's no longer in that camera at the front.
But that means when I've got the computer here to work while I'm on the thing, if I stretch out, I'll be straight into view.
Yes, you will. So
if I pick my nose or scratch my bum, you'll see it.
Yeah, okay, Cupboard Monkey. Andy1962 says, DPD screwed up big time. Last week I got 3 separate messages from them starting a week past Friday, but my model did eventually arrive, so hang in there if your model has yet to arrive. And then to go back as well to one of the things as well, I can remember talking to the committee that ran Cumbria Steam Fair at Kirk Airfield, and they said that you have to make decisions on things months in advance, if not a whole year in advance, and you have to commit yourself to things, because you can't do all the planning and then last minute have to cancel, because a lot of these clubs don't have a limitless pot of money. And what it means is that if they plan and put money in to sort out one of these events and then have to cancel it, they actually lose a lot of money. And there's only so many times you can do that before you basically bankrupt the society. So I absolutely understand that some of these, especially some of the smaller model rail clubs that may be planning their exhibitions, are saying, look, we can't guarantee that it's not going to be cancelled, and we don't want to be massively out of pocket, because it does cost to plan and to book things, because you've got to put down deposits for hiring tables, the room, all this sort of thing. There's a lot that goes into it, and at some point you have to actually commit yourself. And it's one of the reasons why I guess Worley has been cancelled for this year, even though a lot of people were saying, but hold on, we should be okay by then.
We don't know that.
We don't actually know that. But certainly earlier on, when they cancelled the 2020 exhibition, a lot of people were saying, oh, but COVID won't hang around that long. What are they doing? And actually, the decision that they took was that we can't afford to put a lot of money into planning something that then doesn't take place.
Yeah.
Because, that's a lot of money going out of our coffers. So they took the decision to go, look, we're going to write off 2020. And actually, as it turns out, they made the right decision. And it actually illustrates why it's actually sometimes doing something you think, you're planning too far ahead, can actually be a really good thing.
So what else have you got in terms of news? People are asking what the news is.
Oxford Rail, I know we mentioned these before. The new tanker wagons, first 2 liveries are expected in the shops by tomorrow.
My goodness.
So that is another one. If you've got I think it's a Mobile, and I can't remember what the other one is. It's like a buff-coloured tanker. Those should be with the stockists starting from tomorrow. And really, really looking forward to those. Kind of hoping that Oxford Rail, they did say that they'd send me some to review. So I'm really looking forward to if they do. But that is one that I think a lot of people have been really looking forward to. I've seen the final list price now. They're selling at around £18.50. So I know that there was a lot of discussion over the Oxford Rail prices because they seem very, very low. And I think they're kind of sorting themselves out now. So the actual selling price for those is £18.50.
Okay, Cottesmore says here, Manchester will most likely be cancelled given the local lockdown in the region. It's mainly a write-off. We should just go to the pub instead. You can do whatever you want there. I have to say, yes and no. You can't exactly do whatever you want at the pub because there are certain things that will get people to go, oi, settle down.
Well, we could all go to Bishop Auckland to get our eyes tested. And if anybody
it wasn't
asks,
Bishop Auckland, it was Barnard Castle.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to make jokes, you've got to make the right jokes.
Can I just say, Barnard Castle's really nice if you've been there. So let's all go for a meet-up at Barnard Castle for an eye test. And if anybody asks, we'll just say we're Dominic Cummings. And if
they're having an eye test as well, they won't know.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, but you don't look anything like him. Well, you should be having an eye test as well. Pello, Pork Chop Express, David Cook. Wardle Road, great to see you. Let's have a look. Chris Hales, Heritage Railway, Donegal Dad. Hi Jenny, can I make a cheeky shout out? Yes, you perfectly can. I am doing a talk on the Donegal Railways Wednesday the 19th at 7 p.m. going live on YouTube and Donegal Railway Heritage Centre's Facebook page. So absolutely. And I think actually you have reminded me.
Have you got a little badge?
I do. County Donegal Railway Joint Committee 60th anniversary. So there you go, Cupboard Monkey. If you want to, let's take this out of the bag. So there you are. This just shows I am well prepared. So this is one for Donegal Dad. Hold it up the right way to that camera over there. I do have a Donegal Railways badge, which I keep forgetting to tell you guys about. I was very kind. Yeah, so I was very kindly given this at, I think it was Worley last year or even possibly the year before. Really, really grateful for the guys from the Heritage Society that gave this to me. And I feel really guilty that up until now I keep studiously forgetting to talk about it or show it. But thank you, Donegal Dad, you have reminded me about this badge. And I'll try and remember to actually wear that at a show. Maybe the next show that I go to, I will load up on all the badges that I've been sent over the years. So yeah, Donegal Dad doing the talk Wednesday the 19th, 7 p.m, going live on YouTube and Donegal Railway Heritage Centre's Facebook page.
Okay, Wattle Road and Cottesmore are having a bit of a jokey bit of banter in the chat, where they're making a reference to something called OnlyFans. Now, I've heard of lots of people mentioning this OnlyFans thing, but I have no idea what it is. So can someone please tell me?
OnlyFans?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it seems to be some sort of payment thing, and I don't know what it is, and it confuses me.
Is this
because
the Facebook membership?
It makes me feel old and out of touch, and I don't like it. So someone please tell me what it is.
Right, Broughton Junction, nice and sunny here in Lancaster. I can hear the trains coming past. Yeah, actually, I think it's gone sunny outside, which is one of the reasons we're
It has, that's why I'm struggling.
Our ice water has almost completely melted down here. It's
Cottesmore says I should Google it. Yeah, but I've fallen into this trap before when I asked what Goatsy was and someone told me to Google it.
Also, Rails of Sheffield, other news, and Gas Street Heritage Railway has reminded me, is the Stroudley Terrier A1X Class BR Line Black Early Crest 060 tank locomotive number 32655 DCC stand about to be released, be limited, as I can see they have now taken any others off sale. I think what it is they're actually selling quite fast. I know that there's been this small but vocal minority criticising the Rails Dapol Terrier, but actually the silent majority have been very pleased with them, and certainly I've been very pleased with the example that I got and I reviewed, and I'm looking forward to the next batch. Now, I spoke to Oliver at Rails, I think it was last week, and I did ask about the Terriers, and what he said is that they've announced it as being early September for the next batch, and I think what we may be finding is that some of the ones that are currently in stock are going through a process of each one being taken out of the box and personally checking, because of this very vocal minority on places like RM Web that's been complaining about, there's a rivet in the wrong place sort of thing, and they are making sure that there are no issues with any of them. So that may be why some of them appear to go in and out of stock. They're basically being withdrawn, checked, put back on sale, as I understand it. The next new batch, beginning of September, is what Oliver is saying is they're hoping for, but actually, between you and me, don't tell him I told you, he says they might arrive a little bit earlier, but he didn't want to guarantee that because he wanted to give themselves a little bit of space. So expect them September. Don't be surprised if they turn up a few weeks before.
Garfian's asking if you have a Rails Terrier, and if you have, can you run it?
I do have a Rails Terrier. Let me go and...
And while you're looking for that, I'm going to explain what people have told me about OnlyFans. Apparently, it's quite risque, and it's where models show you what they're not wearing.
Sorry, what?
Yes, so...
what show?
The OnlyFans. It's where models show you what they're not wearing, so we won't be going to that.
Models show you what they're not wearing.
When they're wearing things and then they're not.
You mean they?
Da 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 da.
You mean they do
Da,
a
da, da.
striptease? Where is my terrier from Rail?
Have you misplaced it?
No, I've just got so many locomotives.
You haven't misplaced it, you just don't know where you put it.
Yeah, something like that. Basically, I have so many model trains. There we are. I have now found it. So 3261. I'm going to put that on there. 3261. So loco 3261.
Apparently there's cosplay on there as well, so basically nothing for my interests. Now if it was retro computers showing us what they've got under the hood, maybe.
Right, so, let's go to... Yeah, it's like models show... I must admit, when you said models showing you what they're not wearing, I immediately...
You thought they were just going to do a tour of their wardrobe, didn't you?
No, I just thought you were going to take like a model locomotive and take the top off and go, look, you can see the whole motor.
Well, someone's taken a top off, but it ain't a model locomotive.
Yeah, so we've got a bit of dirty track here, actually.
Ooh.
So...
You've been having trouble with your track, haven't you?
Well, no, this piece of track...
It's because you keep
rarely,
spraying glue on it.
Yeah, I must admit, I've been doing a lot of static grass. But this piece of track rarely gets used.
Right, I'm going to go and get some more hokey cokey. Do you want anything?
No, although we haven't got another bottle of ice in the freezer. It's a
No,
shame,
we haven't.
really.
Get you a bottle of frozen peas.
No, it's not really in a bottle, is it? So I'm just running the Rails Terrier backwards and forwards. It's a bit tricky to get it running on the tracks. I don't know, I suppose we can... let's see, can we get her to chase down the other train? So there's now a Rails Dapol Terrier trundling around, and it's probably going to get caught up, I think, rather than catch the other one up. We're going to leave that be. Let me find the comments again. I'm well
Mark
behind.
Wilson says, "Evening, me ducks. Sorry I'm late.
Evening,
Don't
me
worry,
ducks."
don't worry, Mark. A modeler is never late, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to, unless they're modelling Southern Train."
Yes. Big hello to Model Railway Noob, Clive Cobold. Hi Jenny from a wet Northern Ireland. I got my OO Dapol Turbot wagon last week at last. Oh, brilliant. They do look to be great wagons, and they're a bit late for me. I'm not that keen on Dutch livery, it has to be said. I did do the review of the wagon in O-Gauge, and it is a superb wagon. It's just a shame for me that the only two liveries they seem to have got was Dutch and EWS, neither of which I'm particularly keen in. We're about to get a Dapol Terrier trundling round. It's like a come back, train. Minnie West Aston Junction, hi to you. Josh's Train Room, hi to you. Not Lobia Model World, hi guys, doing well. Dismantling the gallery, completion of the sail tube, 4th of September. Then I can begin house hunting in readiness to find new location to the next layout. Ben Davis, Love Class 49XX Hall, 460-5972, Hogswarts Castle and Hogwarts Railways running. Now I've had that locomotive. I did a review of it last year, actually, in the run-up to Christmas. It was one of my more popular reviews, it has to be said. And it's been put away in the box, forgotten about. And I came across it the other day when I was fitting the DCC Concepts chokes for the bus to basically stop spikes. So I was underneath, and I thought, oh yeah, I still got this. So I got it out, I fitted a DCC decoder in it, and you're just about to see it over there. In fact, right where my finger is, you're just going up there. There it goes. And the first two coaches are actually from the same set. I know that Hornby sell some extra coaches for it, at least 2, possibly 4, so you can make up quite a nice train with that. But it's just, I thought something a bit different, and I know that Kelly Ashford, I think she's probably at the Llangollen Railway, excuse me, but certainly she really likes the GWR Big Steamies, as she calls them. So I thought that it would be a great idea to put that on. So something a little bit special. Also, has anyone spotted where the TARDIS is today? Oh, hold on, has it moved? Where's it gone? So if anybody has spotted where the TARDIS is, but the scrap line, hi to you. Arthur Humphreys, great to see you too. Ben Davis, hi Jennifer, want the news from Hornby, Dapol, Rails and Heljan. Right, well, with Dapol, the big news is obviously those Stroudley four-wheelers in O gauge. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying, what about other scales? And I decided that as I am in a position to actually ask, I went to Dapol and I asked them, and I did get a very favourable response. Actually, this, it's a great project. There's a lot of effort gone into these. Now, the Stroudley four-wheelers are going to be 100% made in the UK, and this is one of the big areas that Dapol are pushing onwards on. That they want to try and make a lot of their production UK based, and this of course is it's a good selling point, but it also means that you have a lot of control over the actual supply of your stock. So I think it's a great move. I'm really looking forward to those. The Terrier's just decided to hit a dead spot. It's always that point. It's a pointless point. But certainly, we saw the EPs for those, and they look exquisite. But people have already been asking, are we going to see them in 00 and N? And the answer is no immediate plans, and that is straight from Dapol. But of course, never say never. If they were planning 00 gauge, I'll be honest with you, do you think they'd break the news by just randomly telling me so I could put it out on YouTube?
Yes.
But the official word is there are no current plans to do it in any other scales than O gauge. But I think it'll be a case of possibly watch this space. I can't imagine that, that they would not, if there was enough demand. And as I pointed out to Dapol, they're complementary to the Hatton's Genesis project rather than direct competitors. So I think that the two could quite easily coexist quite well. I'm just watching, is there a little terrier scooting along behind? Oh no, there it is. I'm just trying to...
I've tried that suggestion of the bowl of water in front of a fan. See if that cools things down.
Today's beverage of choice is Diet Coke.
It's hokey cokey.
Right. We've got 293 people in. Can we get that over the 300 today? I don't think we've ever had a live stream that has gone over 300. So don't forget to share this on social media. And of course, everybody is welcome. And tickle the like button as well. Also, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. First know about new videos as and when they come. And we've got some great videos coming up actually. Wednesday's video, I'm going to be reviewing one of the new Hornby Terrier liveries. And actually, I'll tell you now, I've been very impressed with it. You might have seen me share on Facebook a few photographs of it. And it's a really great model. And it's very off-putting actually when the covered monkey.
I'm filming the audience.
Okay. Do you mind? I was
I'm not really filming the audience.
I was on my flow.
You were flowing, were you?
Yeah, so that is Wednesday's review. Friday as well, I'd like to say as well, we're bundling together for Friday's video progress on Weir Yard, along with some of the bits and pieces that I've been working on up here. So I do a little bit of a spot on the DCC Concepts Rolling Road. And it's a really great product. It's one of those things that you think, oh, I don't need one of them. I've got a layout, just let the trains run. And then when you get one, you find actually, you wonder, how did you manage without it? And the DCC Concepts Rolling Road, in terms of useful little gadget type product, this is an essential.
You've been very impressed by those.
I have very much. It's one of my favourite products actually that I've seen from DCC Concepts.
302.
Wow, we have gone over 300. That is amazing, guys. So a big thank you, a big hello to everybody who's watching. So, there's a lot of gas in that Coke, so I do apologise.
I'm going to suggest, since this isn't working, would you like to...
dip my phone in it?
No, put your foot in it.
Put my foot in the hot water.
It'll cool us down.
This is an interesting idea.
It was something that someone suggested last week for keeping you cool while you were doing the stream.
I just put my foot in a bowl of cold water. Right, hello to Somerset Andy, just seeing you in there. But yeah, so the Heljan news is tied up with the Rails news, but also the Class 37O in O gauge is coming through from Heljan, and I've seen...
The things we do, eh?
Yeah, you're very off-putting, Cupboard Monkey, I'll tell you that. She's filming for a vlog.
I'm
But certainly
filming
those
for
O gauge Class 37s look exquisite, and certainly it's one of the things we said back towards the beginning. We have been spoilt rotten this year with so many great items coming through from all of the manufacturers that really sometimes it's difficult to know just where to spend your money. And I'm very, very lucky. I know some of the manufacturers do send over review samples, and I'm eternally grateful for that because it does allow me to review far more models than I could do if I was having to buy every single one. But I'm still spending a fortune, and there's still items out there that I think I'd love that. And I think the Heljan Class 37 really does look amazing. Their 25s do too. But also Heljan is making the Northeastern Railway petrol electric rail car for Rails to Sheffield, and that looks to be a truly exquisite project. And we've seen the livery samples of that, and stay tuned because there might be another announcement possibly around September time. I cannot say anything more, but do stay tuned for that because it looks to be quite exciting, and I think that's going to be one of the models to watch this year because it really is a truly exquisite model.
A good point that comes up here. Someone's Richard Swiderski says, Jen, your feet in water and electricity do not mix, so take your foot out before you change anything with your controllers. But just putting your foot in and cooling it down will actually keep you from
nice.
overheating. Oh my goodness!
Oh.
Thank you, Nicola. Thank you.
I know if you've asked a question and I've not got to it, I'm going to have to. I'm scrolling down now because I am just so behind the times here. But certainly,
we now have numerous fans
word.
up here.
My word's a lot of people who have been talking. I'm really sorry if I missed so many comments. It's just coming in so fast. I know this is something that Sam's Trains gets this as well, and those of you who watch Sam's Trains live streams will know only too well that the comments just go shoom, and he's not trying to miss them. It just is so difficult to read them. I'm getting the same thing here. But Nicola Carter, #1 fan, boom! A big thank you for donating £10 on the super chat. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you ever so much. SDJR7F88. Somebody said that you're in here as well. It's Guillaume Reese Davies as well. But yeah, yes, definitely. We the Fry's chocolate double O gauge layout that you've built, that is amazing. I have shared your YouTube videos a couple of times on the Facebook page, but truly, if anybody wants to look at an amazing and it's deceptively simple in a way. It's the sort of model that most people wouldn't think of making a model of, but it's the gate to the Fry's Keynsham factory from Keynsham Station, and it is just truly exquisite to the point where you can compare it side by side to photographs of the real location back in the day. And it is such a perfect match. I am in awe, sir, of your model making skills because that is a great layout, I have to say. The Growler Blackwood N-Gauge layout. Good evening, Jenny and the Monday Clubbers. Good evening to you. Sam M, Colin White.
Mark Wilson says he sent £5 on the Patreon.
Oh wow, thank you very much, Mark Wilson. I must keep checking it. In fact, I'm going to check on the Patreon because I have been comparatively useless on this. Not the Patreon, the PayPal even. So I'm just going to check because I know that the PayPal.me option is there as well. And yes, Mark Wilson, thank you ever so much. That £5 that you sent through the PayPal.me link, which is in the description box, is incredibly generous. Thank you ever so much for that too. Oops, I pressed the wrong button there, but let me just... Scottish Train Spotter says, I saw Sam's Trains live yesterday. Yeah, I think he does it every week. But what else we got? Ham Shackleton, feet in water and plastic container, not earth, so safe, only 60 volt anyway, unless you start switching the mains on or off. Oh, look.
Don't give her ideas.
Hey, look, there's 3 holes in a triangular shape. I'll just shove my finger and... Bzzz. Yeah, we'll all end up looking like the kids from the Ready Breck advert.
D.L. Warren says, I'm supposed to be revising for an exam, but here I am. Good luck for your exam.
Yeah, very much. Good luck. SDJR7F88 says, thanks ever so much indeed, Jenny. Glad you like the layout. We'll hopefully get to show one day for you to have a look at. Very much. I'm looking forward to that. I know I don't get invited with my model layout to many shows. I must admit, I don't go pimping around. I've got Grove Street Yard all that much. I think it goes to about 1 exhibition a year, but I've started getting invited for panel events at various exhibitions. Sadly, this year a lot of them then got cancelled, but certainly next year I'm already starting to get booked to go to a few. So I will look out for you because I really want to see that layout in the flesh. I was particularly impressed with your use of the Woodland Scenics foliage to create that tree tunnel effect. And excuse me, so there's a lot of gas in that Coke. The Woodland Scenics products, I am a huge fan of the Woodland Scenics range, so it's great to see when another modeller uses it to such great effect. Green Reese Davies, yeah, been really enjoying the Fry Summerdale project. Very much, I think loads of people are. That is it's such a deceptively simple layout, I have to say. You know, I wouldn't have dared try what is effectively a shunting plank to make something as iconic as that, but you have pulled it off so well. I am in awe. Model Railway Noob, did you order any of those French wagons, Cal? Oh, asking Callum. Paul Hinder says, how's the 9F fund coming on, Jenny? We are getting there, I have to say. I think we're probably about 40, maybe £50 short at the moment, but we're getting there. One of the things that's derailed it slightly is I did accidentally purchase second-hand. The Cupboard Monkey doesn't know this yet, but I did accidentally purchase second-hand a standard Class 4 tank locomotive, one of the Bachmann ones, mint in box, and I'm a sucker for them. 80038, I think, is its running number. And I have taken £50 out of the 9F fund for
You purchased something mint in box and then didn't give me even one of the mints.
But Ben Tullett says, I am tempted to create a little Welsh narrow gauge railway next, especially with all of these ready to run 009 gauge locomotives and rolling stock. And you're not the only one. I am currently planning a Festiniog themed 009 layout. I won't give you the specifics, but I'm looking to do it in conjunction with several Woodland Scenics products and really making a series of videos on it. But I'm just at the moment checking with Pico for all the specs on the George England Welsh Pony type locos that they're due to bring out early next year, because I want to make sure that this layout will accommodate that locomotive, and I think that's what I'm most looking forward to from next year's announcements.
You're gonna love this.
What?
Ham Shackleton says, don't laugh, but I know someone whose bedroom light went off, so they took the bulb out and stuck their fingers into the socket to check if the springy bits were working. Now, there isn't any more to that, but I need to know now, were the springy bits working?
Yeah, we need to know. Did they fix the springy bits? Chris Hales, Heritage Railways, hi to you. Don gets Model Railway, the video production lark grows on you. Video 1 equals slideshow of old photos. Video 2 equals phone video clips stuck together. Video 3, the split screen synchronized video and screen recorder. Yeah, you'll sympathise with that.
Yeah, you learn something new every time, and that's what's so much fun about this. It's a hobby that you learn skills in, and it's great.
Definitely. Alex Pomeroy says, I picked up a mint boxed Bachmann Ginty for £45 this evening. Bargains are there if you look for them. Very much so. And actually, some of the buying and selling groups on Facebook do seem to be a new source for second-hand models, which that's where the standard class 4 came from. SDGR 7F88 says, you'll need some Festiniog Railway rolling stock for that. Already got some, actually.
Do you want me to pass it?
I'm just going to get one there. So I already have 3 of the Pico Bug Box coaches in the... I think it's the...
Was it appropriate that you held it out with that finger?
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to give you a finger. But one of the Festiniog Railway bug box coaches, I've actually got 3 here. They actually sit on a little 009 diorama that is part of the layout. It just kind of sticks on the edge. But it's the George England locomotives I'm really looking forward to. So actually, SDJR 7F88, gosh, that's difficult to say very fast, bit of a tongue twister. You'll be able to email me the specs that I need in terms of minimum radius and the overhang, so I know how much space to give either side. In it, for example, the tunnels for clearance for those locomotives. I think it's going to get a lot of people into modelling 009. Certainly for me, it's the deal clincher, so really looking forward to that. Hello to Stretch Edits, great to see you in. Don't forget everyone as well, do share this on social media. Let's make this a record turnout. It's great to see you all. We've been through some of the news, so told you about the feedback from Hornby on the Duchess. Essentially unprecedented demand, and they just weren't able to fill all the orders because so many people were trying to order that model. It's probably gone down as the most popular model ever, to the point where, and New Junction will corroborate this, I did manage to get one in the end. Hornby must have taken pity on me because I think it's one of the ones that they had in the Hornby Visitor Centre in the cabinet. And I got an email from Simon Kohler very, very generously saying, look, we can sell you one of these because obviously you're really disappointed. So Hornby did find me a Duchess of Athol. But I'm not going to see it for a few weeks because as soon as New Junction found out that I had managed to get a Duchess of Athol from Hornby, I got a message saying, can Hornby magazine borrow it because they're rarer than rocking horse poo and we couldn't get hold of one for doing a review of. So I actually got Hornby to send my model that I paid for. It wasn't a freebie. I mean, why would they give one away for free? There's such a demand for them. They're fetching double, if not triple, the face value on eBay at the moment. So it's going straight to Hornby magazine to be reviewed. Wiven Model Railway, evening to you. Let's have a look. Naive Gauge says, I started filming in 4K so I can zoom in post-production without losing quality. And I guess that's the biggest boon of 4K.
It's amazing.
Because people aren't necessarily watching in 4K, but what it does give you is that ability to zoom without Mr. Pixel coming into play.
The other thing that is useful for 4K is if you upload to YouTube in 4K, YouTube doesn't try and compress the file, it just keeps it in the proper quality. So you get proper stereo, you get proper frame rates, and it doesn't mess with it.
Melchester Model Railway says, my 009 project seems to have ground to a halt due to the very long wait times for 009 points from Pico, probably due to the lockdown. I do know that Pico did shut down for a number of weeks, so a lot of stock in model railway shops did sell out. Production has restarted. I suspect that because of social distancing in the factory, they are made in the UK. Production may not be, the production capacity may not be quite as high as it has been in the past. Coupled with that demand, I know I spoke to Jack Morgan at Athens a couple of months ago when they first started coming through. And what he said is that whilst they seem to constantly show out of stock everywhere, they are coming into stock and then immediately selling out. So he says if you're desperate for stuff, the only way really to guarantee getting it is to order it, and then you kind of go into the queue, and when it comes through, you then get it. Clive Cowold asks, hi Jenny, do you have Mark III sleeper coaches on your layout? Not something I have, it has to be said. Garthien says, Colonel Stevens livery from the 1920s. My older brother is the boss at Boston Lodge Carriage Works on the Festiniog. Ooh, maybe you can get us a little tour. Next time we're down there, we love the Festiniog Railway. Oh, thank you SDJR 7F88, that would be really great, because I'm wanting to start this project and it's going to be quite a dramatic build. I'm going to be using, amongst other things, an awful lot of the Woodland Scenic Shaper sheet. I'm going to try doing like rock faces, tunnels, like the railway on a little ledge. It's going to be very reminiscent of the Dr. Evil layout that we built for GMRC Series 2 in the final. And there was a narrow gauge railway which came out of the volcano there, a little ledge on the steep side of the volcano and back into a tunnel. that kind of an idea, but based on parts of the Festiniog Railway, on the approach, I think it was, to Tanabulth. And what I want to do is to make sure that that George England locomotive, when it arrives, I don't put it on and go, oh, it doesn't fit. So I want to make sure, I want tight clearances, but I want it to make sure that that goes round. So that's the plan. We've got 316 people in. This is a great turnout. This is we have an all-time record on the Jenny Monday Club. It's great to see you all. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you guys are too. And so many generous people in and sharing on social media. It really does help the channel grow. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. But I'm well behind on the comments again. Gordon McIlroy, yeah, 300, 302, 303 and rising. Well, it's 316 I've seen. Ham Shackleton, Festiniog in 009. If you look on my site, and Ham Shackleton's posted up a link there, you can see some of my stock being a load. Yeah, and actually that is another use for some of the 009 wagons, is you can use them as a load and things like well trolls. Wan Gog says, hi Jenny and the Cupboard Monkey, first time here, good to see you. Great to see you too. It's always great to see new faces and old faces alike. Everybody's welcome. Yes,
does this mean that with 009 and 00, you really could have loads of trains?
Literally, yes, you could.
Excellent.
Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting you to say, but certainly...
what were you expecting me to say?
Something stupid is usually what you say.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, that's nice and cold.
Well, we're trying to keep you cold.
Yeah,
do you need some more Coke?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to finish that bottle off.
Would you like to feast?
No.
On a Magnum?
Not at the moment, no, because I don't want to put people off with me with my gob full of ice cream. And also, I don't think the Ballast could take another hit with ice cream.
Okay, I'll Coke it up for you then.
Yeah, wouldn't mind.
I've got my flag.
Guardian, Jenny, your yes, sorry, I think we've already read that one out. Chris Hale's Heritage Railway, what is the point of doing a review if the model is sold out and no more to be made? Yeah, I'm thinking about this. See, I haven't done a review because I'm not going to get it for a couple of weeks because Hornby magazine have got in there first.
Sometimes it's with magazines and doing reviews, it's more to say this was there.
Yeah, I think it's turned out to be one of the most eagerly awaited models of 2020, and I think it would be disingenuous to not even mention it. And having photographs of the actual model rather than just the stock photos of the pre-production model from Hornby, a lot of magazines prefer it that way. So yeah, I was quite happy to lend my model to Hornby magazine. Whether I do a review,
that's fair. So you're going to do one, even if it's an extra that we put out on a Saturday.
See, I think my suspicion is that the tooling will turn up again with a different identity. So they'll work their way through the LMS livery Duchesses, perhaps. Big hello to O O'Neill. SDJR7F88. From what I've heard, the factory has taken over the exhibition hall, shop and garden at Picorama. That's brilliant because obviously there's such a demand for Pico tracks. Certainly in the UK, Pico is the #1 brand of track in all scales and gauges, it has to be said. And, you know, I look around on Weir Yard and every single inch of the track up here is Pico track. Even down to the length of O-gauge track on my test track, which I use for programming my O-gauge locos for the Garden Railway, is also a length of Pico. So it's great to hear that they're pulling out all of the stocks. Wiven Model Railway, I'm still waiting to find out if I receive my Duchess. I don't hold out much hope. The retailer emailed me saying that some of their allocations have been cut by up to 40%. And that has been one of the problems. That I suspect that part of the issue may be that Hornby's been caught unawares by the demand. You know, they knew it was going to be popular, but to be so popular that I guess retailers were possibly ordering 2 or even 3 times the amount that Hornby could actually supply. It is a shame that they called it a limited edition of only 500. I'm pretty much certain that they could have sold a limited edition of 1,000 with equal ease, but it's easy to say that with hindsight. You know, they always say looking forward's always a bit fuzzy, but looking back, hindsight's always 2020. Andrew Davis, hi to you. Let's have a look. We've got loads of people in. Daniel's OO Model Railways. Hi Jenny, I'm wondering if people have still not received their Captain Moore Class 66s. I haven't got my one yet. They are coming through. There are thousands of them. They did keep increasing and increasing the production run to cater for demand, because obviously that was being sold with funds going to good cause. So the idea was there's no point in limiting it. It was far better to actually make sure that that people got one, because it helped good causes. As I understand it, they are still being sent out. The latest batch is currently going through quality control. It's one of the things I've heard, not direct from Hornby, but I have heard from some people that that's what they've been told. So do not fret. If you have ordered a Class 66 Tom Moore, then you will get it. There may be a delay, but you will get it. Oh, more Coke, lovely jubbly. John PW22, love the 40 passenger, but intrigued by the rake. Does it represent a North Wales sleeper service? It represents the motley collection of blue-grey coaches that I pulled out of my fiddle yard. So yes, there are a couple of Mark 1 sleepers on the front, but there's also a lot of restaurant first opens as well, which is quite a strange collection. A couple of BCKs as well, so it's not modelled on anything specific, but yeah, I know that the Class 40s, certainly in their later years, were synonymous with the North Wales runs out to through Bangor to my brain's just gone blank. The port, Holyhead, that's it.
How is this different from any other day?
Yeah, essentially, as you may have noticed with the Hogwarts Express trundling around, and also a Brighton Marsh H1 Atlantic in LBSC livery, and all the trimmings of private owner wagons, I'm not really one for prototypical running, it has to be said. Simon Trains MRS, speaking of Wales, the essential travel restrictions on transport for Wales have been lifted today in Wales. Excellent news for everybody in Wales. Do stay safe. Don't forget to wear your mask in shops.
Yeah, just remember that this thing is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
It's no time for complacency.
That's it. Manchester, Greater Manchester went a bit complacent, and that's why we're back in lockdown.
Excuse me.
Oh, the
Chris
weather.
Gal 1959 says, I just cannonballed a complete glass of Coke.
Well, that's what it's here for, Jan. Keeping us going all the way through this. We're going to get through it.
I've lost the comment. Chris Gal 1959 says, wow, how fast is that terrier going? Well, it's trying to avoid being caught up by the Marsh Atlantica. So it's sort of come back, where you gone? Not supposed to be pushing. But I know Garthian wanted me to run that, and Garthian has been incredible, generous donator to the channel. Certainly one of the big things Garthian has done for us is putting the money towards actually outright buying that Garrett that we reviewed some time ago, that we did the longest train ever. Well, certainly it's the longest train.
Hey, that was impressive.
Yeah, and it wasn't ready for giving up. I could probably get a train twice that length behind that locomotive. Coalbridge Junction, hi to you. Hi Jenny, glad to see you're okay. Keep up the good work. The next video of Coalbridge Junction will be out at the end of this week with new track configurations and cam track runs. Excellent. And as I always say, I'm not one of these YouTubers that goes, no, you must not advertise your site. How dare people stand a chance of catching me up? I'm quite happy for any of you to just put, just once, don't go wild, but to put a link into the description. And if you're not a mod, what you'll have to do is say what your channel is, and then hopefully one of the mods will usually put a link into the description box for your YouTube channel. But I'm quite happy to big up some of the smaller channels. There's some great small channels out there.
And we're all small at some point.
Yeah.
Some of us still are.
And it's it's one of those things that there's no point in pulling up the ladder after yourself. I know how hard it was to build up a following on YouTube, and there's so many great channels with great content that don't necessarily have a lot of subscribers. I think it's, it's giving something back to the community to allow people to say, hello everybody, I'm here and this is what I do. So feel free to advertise your YouTube channel in the comments. Like I say, if you're not a mod, you'll have to just tell the mod in the comments, say, this is my YouTube channel. Hopefully one of the mods will then find that and cut and paste it in. But I'm quite happy with people doing that.
You've been here for 11 years.
Have
And
I?
it was only
Oh my
last
God.
year that we really started to getting the following to be able to do these streams.
Definitely.
So
Ron
yeah, it can
Stanbridge
take time.
says, Ron Stanbridge says, got my Tom Class 66 last week and sound in it. And yet Hornby did do a TTS sound chip. I don't know whether they're currently available, but certainly they have been in the past. And they offer great value for money and should be a drop-in like-for-like fit to that Class 66.
have to say,
IGR FPS.
Jen, what do you think about the effect the TTS sound chip has had on model railways as a hobby?
I think it has made DCC sound much more accessible. I don't think it's necessarily changed the hobby, but I think it's allowed more people to experience DCC sound.
Fair enough.
IGR FBS, hi from Sweden. Did you test the Hunt couplings? Yes, I did. We've got a video that we did on that a few months ago now.
Try and find it and link it in the chat.
So the Coven Monkey's going to try and find that and link it. But that was a few months ago now, it has to be said. But certainly they tested very, very well. I have seen a few other channels have done tests on them. We also did the Magnem couplings, similar idea. And I felt that they kind of addressed some of the issues that the Hunt couplings had. Not big issues, but the Magnem couplings kind of took on board the things that you think, yeah, actually we can improve on that, and brought an extra iteration to market. Though I know that the Hunt couplings have gone through kind of a Mark II version, so they too have also worked on improvement. Within Model Railway says, as a matter of interest, I paid for my Duchess on ordering, so I don't get it. Will be very miffed. In some respects, I can understand why smaller retailers might do that, but it's also a little bit naughty. Not really supposed to take payment in full until you are in a position to supply the goods. So I think,
especially these days when you might not actually have it.
Yeah, so I think there's a bit of egg on the face for any retailer that's done that and then hasn't got the allocation through. I think I know the retailer you're talking about. It's not Rails of Sheffield before anybody jumps in. But on RM Web, a couple of people mentioned about a retailer that had done this. Donegate Model Railway, naive gauge. I've got a defined length section with its own detector at the end of each section, and I'm going to be using ABC braking with a program stopping distance in the decoder. And definitely that's something that the Train-O-Matic decoders, Train-O-Matic of course, the regular sponsor of the Friday and the Wednesday videos, their decoders do also support the ABC function. Wamgok says, thanks Jenny, absolutely welcome. Leslie Gilpin, I did consider getting the Pico Talisman Loco kit to re-gauge to furnace meter gauge, but worked out too difficult to find a chassis and risk messing with it. Also hard to find a chassis. Very much, yeah, sometimes that can be quite difficult. Tim Condrup asks, have you been to Chester Zoo? Not for an awfully long time. I seem to remember there was a miniature railway there. There's a vague memory of riding on it, but I couldn't tell you anymore. I was still in infant school when I last went there. Broughton Junction says, see you Jenny and Zoe, got to go and have dinner. Don't worry, we will always be here on catch-up for you guys. Don't worry about it. We've got 327 people, and this really is a record turnout.
Yeah,
Don't
thanks
forget
for coming along, guys.
Tickle that like button and share the stream on social media if you're enjoying what you're seeing. It's a great way of telling other people that here is a great place to hang out on your Monday evening. Although, of course, we
It's
have
the
an audience.
antidote to the Monday blues.
Yes, definitely, very much. I'm just putting my foot. You need a bigger bowl, you know. I think there's a big
You
orange.
need smaller feet.
No, I can't do that.
Andrew Johnson says, when does a small channel become a big channel?
I don't know.
I think it depends on the type of the subject matter.
It depends on how you feel.
Yeah.
And certainly I've seen some channels with 1,500, 2,000 subscribers that are actually punching well above their weight in terms of views and regularly getting 10,000 views plus on videos. So you could argue that that's the point where success can hit. For me, I think it was when I hit 3,500 subscribers and I suddenly realised that actually it's like, hold on, this is like, people are interested in what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I'll tell you when I get there.
Yeah. It can be very subjective.
It absolutely is. It all depends on what subject you're doing, how often you're doing it, and all kinds.
Actually, here's Stretch Edits does ask a very interesting question, which I'll fire off to the legal corner of the Cupboard Monkey. Stretch Edits asks, I would like to ask if it is actually legal for businesses to take your deposit or payment in some cases, knowing there is a likelihood of not fulfilling your order. I don't think it's illegal, but I think it's definitely bad customer
It's not
service.
illegal. It is bad business practice. If you're taking payment, you're essentially saying that I will provide this. You have provided a down payment, which essentially gives a contract for sale of goods, that's a problem.
Could the buyer then sue them for the additional cost incurred to source that item elsewhere in the case of non-delivery?
I would suggest that it's not worth suing in most cases.
Well, to take the example of the Duchess of Athens, it was sold for somewhere in the region of £250 RRP.
Yeah.
But if you now want one, the only place you could conceivably buy one from seems to be eBay. And they're going for between the first one I saw went for 500 and it literally turned around within the hour. So subsequent ones that I've seen, you're talking, I think I saw one go for about 800. Could you argue that because they effectively caused you to miss out, like in taking your money, you believed that you had secured the model, so therefore did not take any steps to secure it elsewhere?
No, you couldn't do that because anyone who puts an order in and they say, well, you've put your name down for one, we'll try and get you one.
But if they've then taken your money, that implies delivery will be
That's
taken.
a different thing. Like I said before, taking a down payment essentially says, well, we now have a contract established. That's why if you give a down payment on a house, they're not supposed to gazump you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because effectively at that
You have a
point,
contract.
you have a lien on the house, in effect. is what
Essentially.
you've got.
So taking your money gives them a very, very exposed legal position. I wouldn't say sue them because in most cases it's just not going to be worth it. You're going to spend far more on legal fees than you ever would on getting a replacement train. But it doesn't.
I guess you're
it's
right.
not good practice.
Certainly, it's not good for your business
Yeah.
reputation. Let's have a look. Rachel Houston says, Jenny, I watched Going Dutch. Did Dapol just release Wagon of the Year video? I was impressed with the O-gauge version of the Turbot Engineer wagon. Thank you very much. That was actually, it's one of those things actually, and to go back to video production, I think sometimes a lot of people would sympathise with this, that when you film a video, sometimes you think that was an absolute stinker. It just, nothing went to plan. It's just going to be a pretty grim video. We'll try and throw it together and just forget about it. And when I filmed that video, I got that vibe. I thought if nothing was working. I felt that I just made a shocking job of it. That it was like, stumbling over my words. I couldn't think what I was trying to say. I got the lighting wrong. And I thought it was going to be a stinker of a video. And actually it turned out to be a really good one. And it just goes to show that sometimes you never can tell with some of these things. Actually, if I get some of the water, rub it on my legs, when you blast it with the air, it'll then feel cold. That's the theory. Is there actually any air coming? Yeah, there is.
Very little. We're basically trying here desperately to keep Jenny cool so she doesn't melt.
Yeah, if you tuned in last week, you'll have seen that it got very hot up here, and I actually ended up coming down with very mild heat stroke. It's not that the loft has issues; it's actually very well insulated. And the problem with that was when the heat was outdoors was something like 38 degrees. So the heat's got nowhere to go. And with all of the equipment that we've got in here, it does mean that basically there's a lot of heat build-up. And my air conditioning has completely melted. In fact,
put it down your back.
It's
if you pressed it next to your spine, it will cool you down.
It's getting warm. It probably just
that's not good then. Terry Ashford says, where did that terrier come from?
The terrier has been on the track a little while, I have to say. Garthian requested that. Garthian's a big supporter of the channel, so I couldn't say no to that. So I put one of the Rails of Sheffield Dapol 00 terriers on, and that's just been chasing that Marsh Atlantic round. Sparky 107-107's Helix is very impressive. As I said on the stream last night, I did drop into that stream and rode Sparky's Helix. If you haven't seen that, it is well worth watching. I really wish that I'd have had the guts to build some Helix.
You would have loved a Helix, but where would you put it and how would you fit it into the model? That was the reason that you didn't in the end.
I suppose so.
Stretch Edit says here, further on from his comment, are those retailers now using your deposit as payment to buy stock while waiting for your order to arrive? To be honest with you, we can't say. We don't know what they're doing with it.
We can't speculate on that. I believe that they should be ring-fencing the money from a legal standpoint. But you just can't say. Effectively, you've given them an interest-free loan.
Will Tucker's saying that there is a technical and legal difference between a retailer taking a deposit and a down payment. To an extent, yes. We'd have to get into specifics, and this isn't a law channel, so basically, we're not giving legal advice here, we're just talking.
Right, I mean, if I've missed any...
I have a law degree, and you've sat through most of my courses, so
yeah,
we kind of
not as in the lectures. I've basically been around her when she's been bouncing ideas for stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're still not giving legal advice here.
No, so yeah, if you want bona fide legal advice, you do need to go to a legal practitioner who specialises in that area.
But at the same time, I'm going to tell you again what I said earlier. Suing someone because you paid money for something you didn't get and then you're getting your money back, you're going to lose out more hiring the lawyer than you would in any recompense you could get.
So we'll look... Flymo Channel 1, finding Jenny and Sparky's live streams are what got me hooked on YouTube. Oh, I feel really honoured. And we've got St Mary Church Model Railway, hi to you. Simon's Trains MRS, just love the terrier chasing the freight train like a dog chasing a ball. It is a little bit of that. It's like, come on, don't leave me behind.
Come on, you said we could be friends.
Bagnall Dave, hi Jenny and Zoe, just to let you know I'm not happy. My layout has come to a standstill. Work is getting in the way. Unfortunately, sometimes I think we all go through periods like that, and sometimes the modelling mojo wanes. Sometimes other things do get in the way. I've been through those periods before, and all I can say is I came out the other side, and hopefully you will too, where you rejuvenate, you've got the time, and you can reinvigorate with the build. And sometimes having a break away can be a good thing.
Do you want to tell them the story of how stressed and upset you got about this layout when you were doing the Great Model Railway Challenge at the same time, so you couldn't spend as much time as you wanted doing...
No, I don't think I got stressed about this layout.
You were practically biting everyone's head off because you were like, oh, I've come home from work and I've got to get this done and that done and the other done, and then I've got to go off and do this other thing. You were stressing yourself out.
A lot of it was the fact that we had a big issue with an individual on our team, which caused a huge amount of stress. But actually,
then that time you lost all the emails, so you didn't know what you were planning for the second contest.
That was Les's favourite email account. Essentially, what I did find, I thought I'd come home and be so sick of modelling that I wouldn't even look in it up here. But actually, I found it quite therapeutic to come up here and have a session of modelling where you didn't have some rivet counting loon go, what you doing? Oh, you know you're against the clock. You're against the clock. Come on. And it's like, chill.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't you appreciate me doing that?
No. DL Warren, I like this comment. DL Warren, I've been watching Jenny's videos since I was at school. I'm 22 now. That makes me feel a little bit old. But
well, you have been really here honest. For 11 years.
11 years, yeah, definitely. Richard Swiderski, hi to you. TTS are a great price. Peter Carson says I've ordered the TTS for the 66 from Hatton's, out of stock just now. I'm actually about 10 minutes behind on the comments, I'll just let people know.
We really need to run a pool at some point.
Ron Stanbridge says Rails 38 quid with postage last week on the 66 chips, I assume. Andy 1962 says Rails had a Class 66 TTS chip as of a few days ago. Got one from my Captain Tom. Right, as I said before, if you've asked a question and I haven't answered it, I'm not ignoring you. It's just simply, it's like, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? They're coming
just
in
ask
thick
it again.
and fast.
Just
so
ask
I'm
again.
going to do another kind of like bish bash bosh down to the bottom. Let's have a look. Kelly Ashford, I hope no one's going to start thinking I like diesels, because I don't. I have 2 Ruston Shunters in my collection. Actually, great to see you, Kelly. I didn't see you in early on. We do have a couple of steam locomotives, in fact 3 steam locomotives going around for you. You'll be just seeing the Marsh Atlantic H1 there. It's being chased by a Rails to Sheffield Terrier, and then somewhere going in the other direction, I think if we move to that camera angle, we will just catch it. We have got, you just see it in the background there, Ollerton Hall in its Hogwarts Castle, guys, with the Hogwarts Express.
Can I just say one thing? There's nothing wrong with liking diesels, because diesels includes gronks.
Yeah, Covered Monkey does like
Gronk it up, baby.
J94, big hello to you. Great to see you back in. We've got 304 people in. It's a great turnout today. Don't forget, tickle that like button if you haven't already done so. And also share the feed on social media. Let other people know that you are in the stream enjoying yourself. Because it's a great community where lots of like-minded railway and railroad fans can get together, shoot the breeze, and hang out up here on my very large loft layout weir yard, watching trains go by. And everybody is welcome. We are very democratic here. We don't do any of that cliquey trolley stuff. Sparky 107, big hello back for you. Hythe Kent says, any recommendations for a Class 37 with good sound or a 40? The Bangman Class 40 I've got going on with, let me find it on here. I have a Class 40 with the Hornby Class 40 TTS chip. Now they're getting quite hard to find, and that is the chip with the speaker, not modified in the slightest. And let's see if we can. Yeah, they're a bit loud. I'm not the hugest of fans of sound chips, but certainly Class 40 Bachmann, fit it with the Hornby TTS sound chip. Great one. Another great combination is the Bachmann Class 20 with the Hornby Class 20 TTS sound chip. Again, another great winning combination. But in terms of 37s, I think is it Soundtracks or Econometracks do a mid-range price sound chip. 21 pin, it's about £60. I buy them from Hatton's, they are available elsewhere. And I do have a 37. If I turn on the power to the shed area, you will hear my tractor fire up. Now that is the Econotracks or Soundtracks Class 37 sound chip, and I actually really like it. It's a great sound. It's got a bass reflex speaker in there as well, which I only charged about £5 for. You're all right there, Zoe?
I'm just checking that we actually have a connection, because mine seems to have stopped. Well, I keep an eye on the live stream on the phone, you see, to make sure the connection's on.
Yeah, so do I, because I'm getting the comments there. But
there it is. It's come back. It's all right now.
Turn that 37 off, but that is actually a good recommendation. I found the Hornby TTS sound chip is let down by a really dire speaker. And what I would recommend is, whilst the Hornby TTS 37 sound chip is a good sound file, but you need to replace that speaker in all honesty.
Ham Shackleton says, Zoe, a gronk is a big soft kiddie's toy, isn't it? I think he's thinking of a gonk.
But I know Gronk is actually a creature from Strontium Dog.
Yes, oh my poor heartsies. Oh. I loved the 2008 special that had the weird cross between Strontium Dog and Pokemon, and it had a Gronkymon. He was cool.
That's it, you've got to recognise them all. They all look alike. Even the Gronks can't tell each other.
I did love that. They all look the same to me. They all look the same to each other.
Yeah. Kelly Ashford says, wait till September and you'll see the 2IF shunting Christmas goods trains in place. Grand. Yeah, Guion Rees-Davies, absolutely right. Prepping for the GMRC was quite stressful, to be honest. Very much, and especially made more so when you have somebody on your team who is working against the team and desperately trying to make a hash of everything, trying to play people off against one another.
Yeah, you don't want that.
And it's with hindsight, as one person that I really would have not had the time of day for.
I kept telling you replace him with me. I'd have made as much use of it.
To be honest, a bag of colourblind hedgehogs would have made a better...
Oh, that would have been cute. Kelly Ashford says, I wonder if the Hogwarts castle in Jenny's collection has TTS sound. Hers doesn't, but you have working headlights.
And the working headlight is not controlled by the DCC decoder, it has to be said. That just comes on all the time. Now, there is space in the tender for a TTS sound chip. It is all set up for it, but that is actually running on a plain 8-pin Train-O-Matic DCC decoder, so there is no sound with that. So yeah, Rule 1 model railways, Gronk baby, oh yeah. Ron Stanbridge says, yep, we got stress out on GMRC. I think anybody who didn't get stress on GMRC
wasn't realising what it was doing.
Yeah, we've didn't realise they were on GMRC. Right, I'm going to very quickly...
we've been asked if we're doing videos this week. We are.
We are, yes, and the Cupboard Monkey will be sorting that out, and we're going to start doing that from about 22.
Yeah, I think that should give us plenty of time for the ones we didn't get to last week and this week.
Very much so. So we're going to try and catch up, because last week was just so hot. The Cupboard Monkey fell ill, I fell ill, so we decided...
It took me until the evening after to recover.
Yeah, even now, actually, I must admit, I've been drinking a lot of this Coke, and it's making me feel quite bloated. So that's gone warm.
Do you want me to get rid of it?
Yeah, I'd get rid of it, otherwise I'll accidentally knock it over. Andy 1962, Jenny Re Athol Dapol. Do we all now need to order from Hornby direct, as we can't be sure other retailers can supply even when we pre-order? Like to know your opinion on this.
This is something that we were asking them about, isn't it?
I did put that question to Hornby, and the suggestion is that that is not the case, and that it seems to be that this is a one-off, and I think Hornby have been caught unawares by the sheer demand for this model. The gist I got from Simon Kohler in an email was that no, you do not need to abandon retailers for future models. I think nothing has had the kind of unprecedented demand as the Duchess of Athens had. Even the Stephenson's rocket didn't quite get to this level. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Nostalgia sells.
I think what they've underestimated is the amount of nostalgia for Hornby 00. Not just from people who had it brand new, but people like myself who were brought up with it second hand as their model railway in the 1980s. Going on to 1259 says, hey Jen, do you have a mimic panel for your points? I don't know. I just have to try and remember which lever does what. Moreland Model Railway Andy, hi Jenny, Zoe and everyone in the chat, been listening, now watching. Oh, brilliant, great to have everybody in. George Botterini says the Gronk in the US is Gronkowski nil player in the NFL. Ah, right. Ben Tollett says, Zoe, don't look at the Severn Valley Railways diesel collection. I think we have more Gronks than other railways. So then, Gronks are great. I love Gronks, and I think I've got about 13 of them in my collection. Always find room for another Gronk in my collection. I really do like them. Thomas Whittington, your collection makes me look quite narrow-minded with my taste BR/Western region eras 5 to 7. No, actually, in some respects, if you can keep your focus quite narrow, it does make things a lot less expensive. I have, unfortunately, the Ooh Shiny gene, which means that I buy all sorts of different bits and pieces from all manner of different ranges. So it's very, very expensive. Flyboy Chairman 1 says, it'll be bouncing along the track with the bass reflex speaker. Actually, it doesn't do too bad. There's a lot of weight in that. B. Mozza says, stop start. Not sure what... Not sure what, I think answering somebody else's comment there.
Tim Condrup says, have you watched the Polar Express?
I have actually, yes.
I've also played the computer game. It's quite an interesting game.
Yeah, I think it's good fun with the Tom Hanks as one of the voices. I do like it. Tony Banton says, hi, I find you usually need to turn the volume down. The locos are usually supplied too loud. Yeah, yes. Very much. And you do get an element of distortion if it goes a bit too loud, which can ruin the sound. Stretch Edits asks, I think it's the soundtrack's economy decoder. Is that the one in your Class 37? That sounds about right. And there's a couple of CVs that you can change on the chip. And it actually has... I think it's 8 different locomotive sounds in there. So it does Class 37, Class 20, first generation DMU, Class 66, Class 67. What are the others? I can't think of what the others are, but certainly there's a whole mix of them, different train horns. You can actually mix and match. But I principally use them in my first generation DMUs because it's about the most cost-effective way of getting decent sound into any first generation DMU. Otherwise, you're looking at like £120 plus just for a sound chip. J94 likes Gronks too. Mark Wilson says, "Hail the almighty Gronk!" Oh, me poor hatsies! Clyde Cobbold, hi Jenny, I have 5 Class 40 locos in my layout. I use them on my Heysham and Stranraer harbour lines on passengers and freight trains. I am actually really quite liking that Class 40. You'll just see it coming round. So where my finger's pointing, that is the Class 40, just there going past. I am really loving that locomotive. I thought it wouldn't be enough different from the Peaks to really tickle my ooh shiny spot, but now that I've got one, I have to thank all you guys for the recommendations to get the Class 40 because it was well worth it.
You have an ooh shiny spot?
I do.
My goodness.
Simon Trains MRS says, if I ever have a Gronk, I name it Rod. Actually, I've got a Gronk named Zoe. I've got a plate from 247 Development, and again we did a review on the 247 Development's range. And it's a great range, and you can personally name any locomotive, pretty much, excuse me, anything that you want. So I decided to honour Zoe by, excuse me, naming a Gronk as a favourite. I think it's over there somewhere.
I'll add that to the conversation.
You've what now?
I'll add the link into the live stream.
Excellent. So welcome back, Sparky 107. Ben Tullett, I've just checked, we have 8 Gronks at the Severn Valley Railway, although some are for spares. Oh no, do restore them. You can't just break them for spares. They want to live again. Oh, I've got an incredible thirst at the moment.
Otis JB says, I must ask, have you lost weight, Jenny? You look radiant tonight. I think that's sweat.
Yeah, I think I've sweated it off. I have lost a little bit. But it's not coming off as fast as I would like. When you reach your 40s, as I unfortunately have, gaining weight is easy, losing it is very hard, but I am desperately trying to lose 4 stone. Thanks for noticing. I'm not quite as fat as I was, but I am definitely overweight, and you know, I'll be the first to admit it. Route 7 Railway, hi Jenny, hope I find you and Zoe safe and well. Hello to everyone. Hello to you.
I was just thinking, weighting in many ways is like the opposite of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy to gain weight, hard to lose it.
Yeah.
It's easy to lose money and hard to get it.
Yeah. And actually, Norman Rose says Coke will bloat, and Kelly Ashford also says Jenny would do better drinking tap water. So actually, that is absolutely right. I'm going to take the beverage of choice and pass it back to the cupboard monkey and say I would like a pint of juice, if I may.
You may.
Thank you very much. So, you're absolutely right, guys, actually.
Would you like an ice lolly with it?
No, I'm not. I feel very, very full.
I will get you a nice stein of juice.
No, don't get that silly comedy oversized. It's just an ordinary pint glass, if you please.
Okay, well, before I go, Model Railway Noob says, am I getting up early to download the new Microsoft Flight Simulator tomorrow? No, I'll be at work. Jen keeps me going, too busy.
David Scott says, hope your broadband speed will support your videos. The trains on the layout have been jumping all night.
Yeah, we have a problem with the internet tonight.
Unfortunately, I think a combination of weather and people watching the gentlemen's educational films somewhere on our street is causing some issues. Although Leslie Gilpin says, all good here in rails, re-jumping. James Pett says, as to Hornby and Demand, I read their annual report a short while ago and it specifically identified that their inventory had gone up since last year, stated this is a failing and undertook to address this in the future. Yeah, and I think it's one of the things maybe they've looked at is, well, you know, we will be a little bit more conservative on quantities ordered. And unfortunately with the Athens, what's turned out is actually they could have ordered like twice that number with ease and shifted them. That said, there are still some models which are selling out very quickly. So it's very hard to gauge in a way, but there are a number of models, actually the Rails of Sheffield sale. I got my eye on a Hornby, I think it's a K1. They've got one in British Railways livery, and it's actually got the British Railways spelt out on the tender. And I keep my eye on it. It says down to the last few left. And my finger keeps hovering, but I know I'm supposed to be saving up for a 9F. So I'm actually hoping that a Bachmann Super Detail 9F turns up at a good price on one of the trading pages, because that's actually the version I really like. Otis JB says, hi Jenny, very late as always. I must ask, have you lost... Oh, sorry, read that one out. But I like you with those sort of comments. You, sir, will go far. Let's have a look. JJ Williams, 1984. Love Ginty. Gwion Rhys Davies. Yeah, I heard about your team troubles and how it went down in the edit. We were very fortunate to have a team that worked together so well, especially considering we'd never met before. Yeah, and the thing about our team was that some of us had never met each other before as well. I was kind of the glue that held it together, but we had one individual who was very much a toxic individual and actively worked to kind of jeopardise the build, to
so if you were the glue and if you were the glue acting as the adhesive, was he a solvent?
He was very much a solvent.
Oh my goodness!
Actually, that is much better. We should go with juice next time. I think that's really good. The Railway Fan says, just tickled that like button. Thank you very much. Oh, hold on a minute. I've got.
Okay. Oh dear.
Oh, yeah, Dusty.
You got the sneezels.
And also, Rachel Houston says, Jenny, I think I found the TARDIS. It's in view by the parked carriages. Yes, absolutely right. Well done, Rachel Houston. You guessed correctly, well not guessed, you spotted correctly that the TARDIS was indeed hiding there. So I'm going to give that to the Cupboard Monkey. The Cupboard Monkey is going to move it now to a new location now it has been found. Not on my static ground. Careful, it might fall over. Right, Mark Wilson, I model a 30-year period from 1965 to 85. I have stopped slowly over a month at a time. The layout jumps 5 years. I have removable semaphores for modern light signals and swap buildings and vehicles. That is actually a really interesting way of doing it. That is such a good way. Steve the Sweep asks, how long was Track Shack on the Isle of Man? Was the Isle of Man ceased trading? I wasn't aware that they'd ceased trading. That's crept up actually, I'm not sure. Jeff Hammond, Flint Hills Engage, says about 2 weeks now. Oh gosh. Unfortunately, another... Ooh.
What was that?
Oh.
Oh no.
Hold on. I'm afraid the cupboard...
That's never oh, I don't normally put it on the lower thing.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Unfortunately, the cupboard monkey tried putting the TARDIS...
I was trying to be clever.
But I'll be clever. I'll put it on that one. There's more headroom on that one.
Oh, you're giving away.
Kelly Ashford says, keep your eyes on the terrier. She's slowly catching up to the train in front.
It's the little choo-choo that could.
Yeah, very much. Stuart Muir, hiya Jenny. I have 4 Gronks in my collection.
Excellent.
One can never have too many Gronks. I must admit, I really want to get one in O gauge. Next time I'm at a show, or indeed if I manage to get over to Kirk, to the Dapol shop, I'm actually wanting an O gauge Class 8. I think that is a must. Yeah, J.J. Williams, 1984. Totally agree with the sentiment. Sorry for Track Shack. Was a great company. Jacob S. says, Jenny, are you from Canada too? I am not. I am here in the UK. We're in Bolton, which is just north of Manchester, which is in the north of England, which is roughly actually in the very middle of the country. From here, it's probably the same distance from here to the top of the country as it is from here to the bottom of the country. I don't know, I've never been told I sound Canadian before.
I've been told I sound South African.
Yeah, you do actually at times.
Your sister thought I was South African.
Tony Wright, my USA locomotives range from pre-Second World War up to the current Tier 4 Givo. I have the shiny loco buy me syndrome. Very much, that's something that I do as well, it has to be said.
You're terrible for it.
Yeah, Moreland Model Railway, Andy, you were lucky many of Thurston Junction. It poured here with thunder. Nice now. I suspect outside it's very hot and sunny. I am actually starting to flag. I've drunk far too much Coke and it's given me the jiggles.
Is that the wiggles?
Otis JB says, what's this about gentleman issues on your street? No. It's the people watching the gentleman's instructional video.
They're not instructional. What they're actually doing is the gentleman's entertainment.
Yes. Andy 1962. Sadly, Track Shack sadly closed a few weeks ago. The proprietress. I did hear about this. Hadn't realised it was that one. The proprietor's wife sadly died, and he decided to retire as a result. Really unfortunate.
That's sad.
But yeah, Kelly Ashford says. The Llangollen Railway is back on my map. Wigan Model Railway, I am very worried about my other pre-orders. If Hornby are reducing the amount of stock they order, then they are at risk. I think it's too early to say at this stage. So, we'll just play it by ear for now. Certainly, I've got a W1 on order with the same retailer that my Duchess was on order with, and they weren't able because of cutbacks to ship the Duchess. I was very lucky that Hornby took pity on me and I got the one out of the Hornby Visitors Centre. But yeah, I do understand that I was in a very lucky position, and a lot of people have been quite disappointed, unfortunately. Kelly Asher says coughs and sneezes spread diseases. No, I'm photoreactive and also I've got a dust allergy, so if I look at a bright light for too long I will actually sneeze. Yeah, Anfield Road layout in the loft, you the man, smash the like with the OO gauge hammer. Yeah, stop. Hammer time. Can't touch this. Also, don't forget, share the stream on social media. Let others know that we're here and everybody is welcome. We've got about 10 minutes to go before we're going to move on into showing some of your videos as well that's been sent in to Zoe at ZoeRobinson.com.
Time for the virtual model railway exhibition.
Zoe spelt with the European spelling, so there is no erroneous Y in play.
Why?
Well, why not? Robert says here, hi to you. Mark Holt, a few weeks for Track Shack. The only right, yeah. Donegal Model Railway, it did hit a bridge, definitely.
It did.
Otis JB, have you noticed that despite being a top model, the rocket has some weird colouring choices? The connecting rods are a weird silver when the wheels are blackened and the copper pieces are gold. Yeah, it is a very eye-catching model, is what I will say about that. Simon Trains MRS says TARDIS behind the Class 25.
It was, and that's why it's not there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'm guessing that that was a bit too obvious on the train.
Yeah.
So
I know.
let's have another different angle. And going on to 1259, Holt Whittle is the geographic centre of mainland GB. I never knew that. Otis JB says, do you have faith in Dapol reaching their intended release date for the D-Class when they have failed so miserably at delivering the Terriers? I think there's still a long way to go. Part of the problem with the Terriers is that the factory that was producing them did let Dapol down, and I don't know for certain, but I suspect it could have been the same factory that did the exploding water towers, which was not Dapol's fault. They got let down by the factory. Russell Benton says, Class 68, press my shiny button.
Everyone's already spotted the time. You're getting too good at this, guys.
Gwion Reese Davies says, I have Dapol's Collectors Club 08 Charlie. Brilliant model, however my handrails have popped off, so need to do a little fixing. Yeah, I do love the Dapol O gauge is sublime. And I think the Ginty and the... Let's see, the Ginty and the Class 8 are the only two that I don't have from their range. Nick Neumann, hi to you. Greetings from Shipley Freight Yard. Sorry I'm a bit late. Don't worry about it. Alan Stanway says, hi Jen, any idea what percentage of women make up enthusiasts in the model railway world?
200%.
I think more than you think. What I've found is that a lot of women don't admit to it. Same way that there's probably a lot of men who like knitting but don't necessarily admit to it because it's not seen as the pursuit fitting with the gender. And I know quite a few women who are modellers. Indeed, on GMRC we had quite a few women modellers. It was great to see. We are out there, and you know, I think it's great to see more women coming forward in the hobby. Certainly the most high-profile female modeller that I know of is actually Anne Diamond.
Yeah.
Of TV's Anne Diamond. So there you go.
I like this comment here from Chris Hales Heritage Railway. TARDIS in Zoe's hand. It was. Well spotted.
Garthian asks, have you ordered any nameplates for the Garrett yet? No, I haven't actually, to be honest. I do have a few spare ones. I can give it a girl's name. I'm just trying to remember what girls' names I've got from 247 Developments.
Mark Wilson says, what's wrong with knitting? Nothing's wrong with knitting. That's kind of the point. It gets a reputation as a girl's thing. The same way with cooking. I've never understood this. A lot of boys, especially boys at school age, will go, oh, cooking's a girl's thing. So, why? It involves knives and fire and cutting things. How is that a girl's thing?
Yeah, and Naive Gage says, I am a man and I do gold work embroidery. People do not expect that. Yeah, and it's kind of what I'm getting for. Hobbies shouldn't be gendered. I think that narrow-minded people go, oh no, you can't do that, you're a girl. And likewise, like, oh no, that's not a manly thing to do, you can't do that. And I don't know why I go very posh when I do my old fart impersonation. But certainly, it shouldn't be like that. It's like, I really hate this, like, pink is for girls, blue is for boys. And it's like, well, no.
Not in the Roman era, it wasn't.
No, I quite like blue. I like pink as well, but I prefer green.
Purple. Purple's the best.
Gary Lewis says, hi Jenny, I have got all 4 Hogwarts coats. Oh, so it's 4. With the Hogwarts castle fitted with Hornby Hall class TTS sound chip. Cool. I like that. Ham Shackleton says, no Y in Zoe. Reminds me many years ago, different forum, different subject, we had a guy called Noel, but we all called him No, because he insisted on no L. Southern Train Girl, and all my male relatives and never ask for me. 57305 Northern Princess says, I love pink and I'm a man. Mark Wilson,
why not?
What did the Romans ever do for us? Well, there's the roads, oh yeah. And the aqueduct, oh yeah, it's hard to remember life without the aqueduct. And medicine, yeah, and laws, oh yeah, you know, shocking place, only the Romans could keep law around here. But yeah, apart from all that, what have the Romans ever done for us?
We've got one here. Simon the Plantsman says, is Channel 5 going to produce another series of Model Showdown?
Model Showdown? Is that GMRC?
I'm assuming that it's Great Model Railway Challenge.
I'm assuming you mean Great Model Railway Challenge. I've asked Pat Doyle, who's the series producer. I haven't had a reply as of yet. I will chase him on that. But I know at the moment, because of COVID, everything was just shut down this year. So the earliest it would happen would be next year. So what I'm guessing is that they will probably find out probably around September, October time, maybe, if Channel 5 will pick them up for Series 3, and that, will be the point where we'll start getting advertisements for teams.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I honestly don't know.
Would you do another series?
I would as a judge. I don't think I'd go on a team.
Do you think you couldn't stand the stress?
It's very stressful, and I do warn people, if you really struggle with stress, then it can be quite stressful. Not as stressful as perhaps it sometimes gets made out to look on the TV, but certainly I think it's a case that it's not for the faint-hearted, but it's certainly a great experience. And pick your team wisely, because you don't want any idiots who then just try and become the ego on a stick and do stupid things like threaten to smash a cameraman's lens if he doesn't stop filming it. Oh, because that's going to make you look good on TV.
Yeah, so what do you think the cameras and the show were there for? Right, I'm going to set off finding all of the...
B. Mozza says, just got my landline net back. Only taken 8 hours. Must admit, our water went funny the other day. We got low water pressure and it was coming out like chocolate milk. So there's certainly, I think the bad weather has caused a lot of issues knocking about.
It's not been the best of times for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I do remember after storms in the past losing the landline, and of course the internet is obviously going through the landline. Southern Train Girl, when I buy from a dealer, I always get asked if it is my dad or a male relative. When I tell them for me, I get a look of shock. And it's interesting actually, whenever
I shouldn't be asking.
Yeah, even comparatively recently, I went to the Rainhill, I think it's the Stevenson Locomotive Group Model Railway Exhibition at the end of last year, and I took my dad with me as my wingman to help me out. First exhibition, like proper model railway exhibition he'd been to actually. He was quite impressed with it. But everybody keeps talking to him, asking my dad about my model that I built, even though it's been featured in several magazines. It's quite well known. It's quite well known that I built it. And yet people would still turn to my dad and ask him, oh, how did you do X, Y, and Z? And he's like, dude, I'm stood right here. You can talk to me. And my dad was like, I don't know, why don't you ask the person who built it? And it's always
I do like that about your dad. He will just knock them flat.
Yeah, but then, I've had other people go with me as my wingman to exhibitions in the past, and it's always the same. If you go with a bloke, people assume it's the bloke's model railway and that he built it. And it was Sam always used to say, why don't you ask the person who built it? I wouldn't know. I'm just the body. The body for moving tables.
Yes. I'm just the muscle.
Yeah. Well, I'm just the +1.
Okay, so our first railway for the virtual model railway exhibition is Row 1 model railways with HST pass on the super elevated section of Western Parkway.
I'm liking what I'm seeing here.
It's a bit of a mouthful, that one, so I'm going to jump to the browser. And here we go. Okay, so that's... I like it already. It's got different levels. So I've noticed that a lot more that we're seeing. We're getting... Oh! That is unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, you've... I'm assuming that's Engage. It looks like it might be Engage, but certainly. I love the tilt on the track as well. You've got the prototypical, what do they call it? Not superannuation. You know what I mean? It's like the cant on the track. That actually looks really good.
Yeah, I was not expecting that angle though.
Yeah. So that is really nice.
Yeah.
So thank you
very
very
short
much
but sweet.
Guillaume Reese Davies and everybody else. So the Terrier's getting close. The Terrier is actually giving the train a little bit of a shove. I'm going to let it keep on giving a shove. There is a Gronk. Actually, there's several Gronks. There's a Gronk there, but I think it's out of shot because we moved cameras around. And then behind me, there's another 3 Gronks over there. I don't know, is there a nickname for Class 3s? A Class 3 is referred to as Gronks as well. I don't know. What about Class 7s?
I thought they were only Class 8 and Class 9.
Yeah, Andy 1962, never drink brown water. Just like don't eat the yellow snow.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have Northwood Central from Stretch Edits with his June 2020 running session. Now we won't be showing all of it, of course, because it's 9 minutes, but we're going to have a nice look.
There's quite a few people say it's super elevation.
Yes.
As opposed to super marionation. What time is it, Brains? It's 4 o'clock.
Okay, here we go. So, what have we got here? Northwood Central.
That's the garden at the side of the station. I like that effect, because you used to see that at a lot of stations.
Oh, I like the setup.
I like the cupboards you've got underneath. That is neat.
He's got chairs. Jen, why don't I have a chair? Why do I have to sit on the floor like a pleb?
And it looks like you've got like an underground bit underneath there. Yeah, because there's the tunnel mouth. That is nice. There's a lot going on multiple levels, and it's great use of the space. Yeah, I like. Oh, I like the war memorial there in the middle.
That is good.
It's one of the that's one of the scene craft or the Scaledale.
I like the look of the way his grass didn't come right up to the edge.
Yeah,
like normal grass that you see in the world.
I see as well, if you look at the track work, it's prototypically correct. Midland Railway took great lengths to lay out stations so that there was no facing points whatsoever. They were paranoid about having facing points, it has to be said.
I'm really liking this. I like the levels because the world isn't flat.
Oh, interesting. Jeff Unsworth says, Class 3s were called noddy shunters in my day. Why? I have no idea. Interesting.
That they are friends with big ears.
Noddies, I like that term.
Oh.
That is nice. And with the lift-out bridge over there as well. I like the little cubbyhole that you've kept the ironing board in.
Yeah.
But you've made great use of the space, I have to say.
And it's little things like that do allow you to make good use of the space.
And if you look closely, there's a second level. The bridge wasn't in place, but there's the...
Yeah.
Golden Plover. Somebody did correct me. I've got the same model. That's the Hornby Golden Plover. I have exactly the same model. It's just up there, actually.
So is it not plover?
No, it's plover. Somebody told me it's a bird. A golden plover is a bird.
I knew it was a bird.
Because, of course, a lot of the A4s, Nigel Bresley was a twitcher, he was a bird spotter. So that's why so many of them were named after types of birds.
After breedies.
Mallard, bittern, golden plover, kingfisher, wild swan.
For a second there, I thought those two trains were going to smack into each other.
I do like the.
Is he keeping all his track
24s.
pins in that wagon?
Might be. That's a good van train. I like that. I really do like van trains. I think that they're massively underrated, and we should see more on model railways. And I am liking the way the tracks go on this. You've made great use of the space. Really great use of the space.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And sometimes that can be one of the difficult things to do. When you're building a model railway, it's very easy to fill the space, but not in a really efficient kind of way. And this layout really does feel to me that it's a really thoughtful, efficient use of space.
Yeah, it's very nice. So we can't show it all, of course. We're gonna move on to have a look at some more. This is, of course, the great virtual model railway exhibition.
Right, so have we got plenty? Because I know there was some left over from last week.
I'm still going through that last week's.
Oh gosh, so we've had a good crop of stuff.
Yeah.
Naive Gauge says that I had a massive delivery of fans from Hattons today. I must go and check out Hattons. I tend to buy an awful lot from Rails at the moment.
You go through phases between who you order with.
I do, yeah.
Okay,
and
this
I know
should be
that Tim at
Whoa.
Arcadia must be missing my custom at the moment. And I do feel that I really should get round to popping back into Arcadia, because I haven't been there since before lockdown.
Okay, this one's from a new person. We've not had one from these guys before.
No.
St Mary's Church Model Railway
Oh, yes.
with 119 small running sessions. So this should be
Excellent.
interesting.
And David Scott. No, I did say Mallard was the first one that I said. I said Mallard first, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness! Look at the colours.
Naive Gage says, I was making an order up to the free delivery threshold. We've all been there.
I'm not sure what they've filmed this on, but I am loving the warm colours.
Yeah, the colours are good. And again, more A4s. I love A4s. I have to say, I'm a big fan of A4s.
I'll take you to the office supply shop, but it's not a problem.
Oh, stop messing about, Cupboard Monkey.
You've got that signal box.
I like that. Is that a county? That's actually quite a nice model.
That does look like your kind of model.
I like the steam loco there. If anybody can identify that, is it a county or something?
No, I'm liking the industrial location they've got there. That's your kind of thing there.
Yeah, and that's Tornado. I looked down when I missed the logo. Oh, there's the Pullman observation car. I've got one of them. They are great.
Look at the
great
levels.
use of the Metcalfe buildings. And yeah,
the verticalness.
Yeah, I always love it. I'm guessing that's Bitten, the actual locomotive. Mallard or Bitten? I've actually got Bitten up there in the...
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
that rust effect is great.
It is pretty good. Oh, you've got the... is that the City of Gloucester in the British Railways Express Experimental Blue? It is a lovely colour. I got one of the Princess Royal class in that. I'm really loving it.
I'm loving some of the effects that are on these roofs where some of the tiles are replaced. So
yeah.
It's those little touches that give such realism.
I like the tunnels going underneath there with the church on top.
Yeah.
You really got the railway blending into the landscape so nicely.
Yeah. And again, it's the verticality. The place isn't flat.
Yes.
There's things going on at several levels.
There's a lot going on. I'm really liking that. Oh, and the grand suspension bridge. That is grand.
Like the service station.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, and it's really thoughtfully put together. So I'm loving this.
Yeah, this one's a lovely one.
A4's
really
my favourite loco, says Wangog. Absolutely.
That town.
Andy 1962 says, in my opinion, Hattons used to be the cheapest, but rails and others now frequently undercut them. Often free postage from rails too.
Look at the size of that town.
It is great. I'd love to have the space to do a big town, but I fortunately don't. But it's nice to see.
It really is. That's a lovely model.
Yeah, it always pays to shop around, says Andy 1962. Definitely. I found a few places actually which can be even cheaper than rails. It swings and roundabouts. I used to get loads from Hattons. And yeah, Simon the Plantsman, I would love to actually visit Kernow Model Centre. I buy a lot of stuff mail order. They do a lot of special commissions, and I love it.
Okay, the next one is just a photo from Tim Condrup, so I'm going to bring that up now.
Yeah.
And I am very impressed with this.
Well, that's nice. There's a lot going on, a lot of space, and
nice Spitfire.
Great use of various different bits and pieces. You've got the upper and lower levels. Oh, is that my favourite loco at the back? No, it's. I thought that was the Marsh at H1 Atlantic. It's an awful lot of Thomas the Tank Engine and friends going on.
I'm liking that crane.
Yeah, and good use of the storage space underneath. It's certainly got a lot of play value here, so really great. A lot going on.
And I'm liking this down here, Jen. Are they fabric?
I don't know.
They do look like fabric. That is very nice.
Hive Kent says Hattons chat support is great. Yeah, definitely. There are some good features on the Hattons website as well. Somebody did tell me what the local was. I spotted it. There we are. Garthian says the 440 was a GWR County, which there's a new build being done. Ah, right. Yes. Wiven Model Railway says I boycotted Hattons after the rocket debacle. They oversold the rocket. So it's not the first time that a retailer has oversold a model, I have to say. Kelly Ashford says the new build County of Glamorgan is actually a 460. There were two versions. Don Gets Model Railway says when they do that H1 in Southern livery, my wallet is going to have a hard time. There is, is it a H2 Atlantic that they've done in Southern Railway livery? But as far as I know, The H1 iteration has only actually been available in the London, Brighton and South Coast. I like the way that the rocks...
Yeah,
that's
this
actually
is
really
Kingspan
nice.
cutting. Showing the
That's
development of his layout.
I do like these building pictures. The rock walls there really do look good. And then, oh wow.
That is lovely.
Nice.
And again, the different colours on the walls. And
there's that rock face. And yeah, some great techniques at play here, and it really works. You've also got great lighting as well. Quite often, one of the things that can be really overlooked is that lighting makes a lot of difference.
It does.
You can have the best model ever, but if the lighting's poor, it just doesn't show it at its best. So the lighting is really good here.
Yeah, you can have wonderful cameras, wonderful layouts. If you're not lighting it properly, it'll still look poor.
Southern Train Girl says the tents are a part of Hornby's Thomas and Friends range.
Right. Oh, that is lovely. That wall does look good.
Ben Tullett says, watching Jenny and Impossible Railways on the Yesterday channel, great night in. Well, if you're a fan of the Yesterday channel, you might be pleasantly surprised at what might be coming up. I don't know when.
Oh, is it your episode of Crime Watch?
Yeah, I'm on Crime Watch.
She was a post box.
But the thing I can't tell you about might have something to do with that. Kelly Ashford says, GWR Steamy is my liking. Well, Kelly, I did put Ollerton Hall on in the Hogwarts Castle livery, especially for you, because I know you do like them.
I like the way
Richard Swiderski says, nice layout.
Yeah, this has got a very clean look to it, very sharp lines. It's a contrast to what we were seeing earlier on with this town.
I like the little cameos with the people.
Yeah.
And that cutting is really nicely done.
Yeah.
So.
And he knows how to shoot it well as well with the camera.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
The low-down shots really do work ever so well. Oh, a Field Marshal. I love Field Marshal tractors. I must get one for up here. And that's a Princess Coronation. Again, another class of locomotive that I absolutely adore. I think if I had to pick two big locomotives, for me, the A4 and the Princess Coronation are two that do keep on giving.
I like the use of space there.
Yeah.
With the lines going all over the place.
I like the Farmer's Field.
That is impressive. Wow.
With like the straw effect.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Yeah. It's all so nicely done.
Yeah.
And I must admit, you are very good at building the Metcalfe buildings. I'm afraid I tend to get bluey fingerprints on a lot of things.
Yeah, you're a bit clumsy in that respect.
Yeah.
That is very well done. So thank you very much for that, Kingspan cutting. I'm going to jump back to front rear yard
57305 Northern Princesses. Jen, you're saying Alton Hall. So I said Ollerton Hall. It's Alton Hall. Right, it's my fault.
Alton Towers.
Yeah. Peter Leyland, lighting is quite cheap these days. I use the daylight ribbon on a spool with small transformers. £8 only and gives great light on the layout helmet. Yeah, I've heard some really great words about that. St Mary Church Model Railway says the A4 was Peregrine, showing some lovely layouts. Thank you very much, Peregrine. Yeah, there's another bird as well, incidentally. Mike says, anything about Dapol Class 66 and O-Gauge? I'm afraid not, but I can ask about that. Paul Cotterill, I have the Hogwarts Express too. I'm expecting my second carriage tomorrow. Excellent. Kelly Ashford, I know I gave her myself. No, sorry, I have her myself. Although red suits her perfectly, very much actually. Red is an LMS looking colour, but it does suit her.
Okay, I've got one here for you, Jen. How real does this look? This is the one from Tim Condrup. How good is that?
Actually, that is where is that?
Llandudno Junction.
No, it's Llandudno.
Llandudno.
The U is pronounced as an I.
Jen, I can barely pronounce English.
Yeah, I know. You only speak two languages. English and bad English. And you're not very good at either of those.
You know, they've just got the realism on that so good. How real does that look?
Well, it is real. Oh, it's really great. But it's nice to take a change and check out the real thing. But it is really nice. But Llandudno Junction, it's a great place. It's just down from Degani and Conway. So really great place to go and visit. I'd actually love to go and do some sailing around there at some point.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But we'll have to go to a different campsite. That one that we stayed at was a bit far away from the water.
Yeah, I don't want to drive the boat that far because I think it would be heavy.
Ben
That's
Toad
very nice.
says,
Thank you very
I
much,
need to
Tim.
shop for some retaining walls and a matching tunnel portal to hide my fiddle yard brake. Actually, there's some great ones. It's either the Fowler or the Knock range that you can get through Gauge Master, which I do really like. They're a little bit flexible. They're like a high-density foam-based product. They are a bit expensive, but they are a really nice product, has to be said. Other retaining walls, the Metcalf retaining walls are very good as well, and they do matching tunnels too.
Right, I think that is all of the links we've had.
Excellent. So going to the dog says, right then everyone, I'm off. Stay safe, people. You stay safe too. And actually, we're just coming up on 9 o'clock. So
we're actually past
we've
it,
had
babe.
a really great turnout. We're still on 308 people. Don't forget to tickle the like button. And if you haven't already done so, do hit the subscribe button and ring that bell.
Garthian says, what about his? Yes, because I checked on whether I got his earlier on. It marked it as red. So
right.
I do apologise, Garthian. We've got one more.
Hold on a moment. Kingspan Cutting says, thanks for showing my layout. It's made my day. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for letting us show that.
Yeah.
Because without you guys, we wouldn't have this feature. So I'm always honoured that you want to share your videos with me. And really, really happy to. And don't forget, everybody, you can go and check out each and every one of these channels and subscribe to them too as well. Because we're all part of a big model railway community.
Yeah,
but we've got one more.
One big happy fan. I've got to find it again now.
So the Cupboard Monkey's going to try and find that. So David Scott says, good night, folks. Great evening. Stay safe. Kelly Ashford says, prepare to be frightened. One of the GWR steam I have is 1361 in photographic grey. I've named it Spooky the Ghost Saddle Tank Engine Beware. That is actually, I do like that model in the photographic grey. What I wouldn't mind seeing is Hornby release the Princess Royal in the photographic workshop grey that she initially ran when first released from Works. That might be a great special edition, actually.
Okay, from Garthian says, the beginning is a very short clip of the train that was in action on the 26th of July, followed by passenger view of a run around the line, then clips of a Garrett K1. So this should be interesting. I'm going to try and... It's decided to slow down. YouTube, don't do this to me, man. Don't do this.
Well, whilst you're getting that ready, Garthian says, it's a bit of a taster for the 13th of September. We're really looking forward to that. Zentai Pup 23, I'm getting my new 260 American loco tomorrow with sound. $112 for it from Backman. Excellent. Donegal Dad says, thanks for the shout out, Jenny. Great stream as always. You're absolutely welcome. Great to have you in as well. But we've got Statfold Barn Railway, July, August 2020. A ride around the line, and I'm really looking forward to going and visiting.
Yeah.
Actually, New Junction did a video from Stratford Barn. I did joke with them, so you're just basically nicking all my ideas and doing them a couple of weeks before I do. But I'm really looking forward to visiting this on the 13th of September. We're planning on going there.
Here comes the choo-choo. How real does this look, Jack?
Oh, will you stop it? It was funny once.
It was funny twice.
How are we doing? Kelly Ashford says, thanks, don't worry.
Oh my goodness, that's a big one.
Oh my word. They're bigger than I thought.
It looks real.
That looks like a German or an Austrian one, isn't it? It's I like the coaches with the kind of balconies on the end.
Yeah.
With the sort of like playpens at the end. Oh, there's another one on the back.
Oh,
that is nice.
That is.
I'm really looking forward to that.
That looks lovely.
Good night to J94. Good night to Hyde Kent. There's a few people starting to drift away. We're passing 9, so once we've done this video, we are going to call it a night. So if any of you are needing to go now, thank you ever so much for joining the stream. It's been great having your company. Don't forget as well, you can check the channel out over on Patreon.
You know, guys, this is good. So I'm going to put the link to this into the chat because it's going to be a long one. I think it's going to be worth watching.
this is not, actually, yeah, if you put the link in the chat and then anybody wants to go and watch the full video, they can do so. And don't forget to subscribe to their channel as well, because there's some great content here. I'm loving this. I like the way that you can stand on that veranda balcony on the end of the coach and actually watch them on the footplate, because it's an open back to the cab. That is really great. I am actually really looking forward to our day there. This is really good.
Okay, there's the link in the chat now. Garfield says skip to the end for a Garrett.
Yeah. Paul of Bramley Junction, good night to you as well. St Mary Church Model Railway. Thank you, Jenny and Zoe, for showing my layout. No, absolutely welcome. Thank you for sending us the link to that. And don't forget, next week, that if you want to share your videos with us, then send us the link, not the actual video, but the link via email to zoe@zoerobinson.com.
Yeah, I don't send the full video, I just won't be able to use it.
Yeah.
Some lovely little locals here.
And there's the Garrett on the left. That is the Garrett. So I'm really, I know we're running a bit late now, so what I'm going to do is, we've still got 245 people in, but I know a lot of people want to get to bed, and it is ever so hot here.
Wow,
Thank you all
Steve.
ever so much for joining us here on the Jenny Monday Club. Always great to see you all. We've had a record turnout tonight. Don't forget to check out Wednesday video. We've got the review of the Hornby Terrier, the new livery versions. Next week we'll be reviewing a Heljan locomotive for a change, and already filmed that. And also stay tuned for the Friday video. We're going to be talking about some of the new odds and ends, the little useful tools that we've got for Weir Yard, and also I'm going to show you the War World Scenics Progress Progress applicator, which is for if you've ever wondered how to apply the 12mm static grass for a real wild effect. And I'm going to be showing it out on Friday. Very much kicking it in. Actually, we should use that as part of the title. But until next time, you take great care of yourself. It's been an honour to hang out with you guys. Take care. Bye for now.
Is this the point where I have to quickly find the thing? Thank you everyone for sending in your
it's been brilliant.
Your links. They've been
thoroughly
great.
enjoyed hanging out with you guys here on Monday night. Stay safe.
Take care, guys. Bye.